So this little video is just a quick guide on how to use PowerPoint as a vector graphics program. There are lots of vector graphics software out there, but often they're expensive, and for most of what a teacher needs to do, PowerPoint will do the job just fine. So our little project today is going to be a kind of a cartoon of the muscarinic receptor binding site, or where acetylcholine binds to its receptor on the surface of target cells. So the first thing we need to do is we're just going to draw kind of the pocket that acetylcholine would fit in, and we're going to go up here to the insert, and we're going to choose shapes, and we want to choose Freeform, which is in the recently used shapes here, or since I've been using it, or down here in lines as well. And Freeform is going to create lines between mouse clicks, so you don't have to push and hold. So I'm just going to kind of pick a spot over here and click and drag, and I'm going to try to get a straight line if I can, and then come down here. So our drawing is going to start out very boxy, but that's okay, because we can go back in, and if we want to smooth it out later, we can. So now I've got the outline here, and I'm going to go in and just kind of roughly sketch out what this little guy should look like. So we're going to put in some hydrophobic pockets here that would live inside the receptor. And I feel like Bob Ross saying that, but that's okay. We've got some happy little hydrophobic pockets. And eventually we'll have some happy methyl groups to go in them. Alright, and one more hydrophobic pocket up here. Okay. And I'm going to double click right here, and that'll close it, and that gives us our rough outline. Now what we want to do is, this is still editable. We can go in here and adjust all of these different points. Everywhere that the figure bends, everywhere that it changes direction, the line that we drew is something that we can go in and edit. So what we're going to do is go up here to the format area, and we're going to go to edit shapes and edit points, and then we're going to go in and write anything we want to smooth out and turn from a sharp turn into a curve. We're going to right click it and go to smooth point. Right, you can see it just smoothed it out into more of a curve instead of an angle. And so I'm very quickly going to go through here and smooth out all these points. Now another thing is, if I wanted to open this up, I can just grab a point and move it, and then we have these two bars extending out from the point, and that allows you to change the geometry of that particular point. Okay, so now I have a rough kind of idea of the shape of my receptor here, and so I want to add some labeling. I want to label these hydrophobic pockets, and that's easy enough. I'm just going to click outside of my figure. I'm going to go to Insert Text Box. Now this next step is kind of important. You don't want to click in the middle of your figure, because what will happen if you do is it will try to turn the entire figure into a text box and center the text in that figure. So you want to go click somewhere outside of it. You'll get your text box to come up, and I'm just going to label a hydrophobic pocket. Now obviously this is big, it's not going to show up well, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to turn it white. I'm going to drag it into here so I can see it. I'm going to boldface and drop shadow it. That'll help it stand out. I'm going to turn it to centered so that I can get it on two lines, and then I'm going to reduce the size until it's something. There we go. So now we've labeled this hydrophobic pocket. I think I'm going to go up one notch. Let's see here, because I want it to be legible even if I reduce this in size. I think we'll settle on 14-point font. That looks good. So there's my hydrophobic pocket. Now I've got a couple over here, so all I'm going to do is copy and paste. I just hit Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste, and I'm just going to scoot this down here and label that hydrophobic pockets. And with it labeled, with this situated in between these two, it's obvious, hopefully, that those are in fact hydrophobic pockets. Now, we need to add some features into this receptor, and I think I'm actually going to go up here and edit points, and I'm going to nudge this up just a little bit. That'll give me some room to work right in here. So now I'm going to click out, and now we need to draw a little molecular structure. And again, we're going to do that with the line tools in PowerPoint. There's no sense in going out and using a molecular modeling program when we're just going to draw some very, very basic side chains off of some amino acids. So I'm going to go up here and select my line tool, and I'm just going to draw a little line right here. Now, this is where I'm going to be working, so I'm going to just zoom in right there. Awesome. And rather than click up here and redraw the line, I'm just going to hit Control C and Control V, and I'm going to copy and paste that line over and over again until I get the structure that I want. Alright, so what we need to do is, because this is moving around all funny, right, it's not going to line up for us, and that's because there's a grid line that we can't see. And all of the objects in our drawing are being snapped to that grid. So what I'm going to do is go up here to Arrange, Align, and then we're going to go way down here to Grid Settings, and see where it says Snap Objects to Grid. See, the grid right now is 0.083 inches, so it's going to move in increments of that size. If I turn that off, now everything is going to move in 1 pixel increments, and so I can center everything very nicely. So now I can zoom back out, highlight this stuff, we're going to group it, and then I'm going to move it down to about right here. I'll need a line to anchor it, and there we go. And I'm going to format that, and I'm going to increase the weight of that line about right there. And again, because we've turned Snap to Grid off, I can move things with much more precision. Excellent. Now all I need to do is indicate just a few of the amino acids, and we got one more hydrophobic pocket we need to put in. So we're going to make that right about here, and I will add very good. And I think that's about it. So this is roughly, if you can stick acetylcholine in here, I think the methyl group, there'll be a methyl group that'll fit here, a couple of oxygens that will interact here, and then we'll have some more methyl groups that'll fit in these hydrophobic pockets. So by and large, this is looking pretty good. This we're going to have there'll be a nitrogen that'll interact here, so I think everything is cool. So there's essentially our little cartoon. Now if we want to, we can take this whole thing and group it, and maybe be able to, yeah, I was afraid of that. That's not going to quite work. But what we can do is shift this over to here, and then if I want to, I can insert a picture. So got a muscle cell So I can take this and let's just and let's crop it down because there was some white space over here. And so if we want to, we can use some little lines to indicate that this came from the surface of this muscle cell. And there you have it. So we can take this whole thing, highlight it, right click it, go to group, we group it just to make sure everything's going to look copacetic. And I think these lines here, so I just undid that, and I'm going to make these lines just a little bit heavier. Yeah, that looks much better. So now we'll go to this line and we will weight it equally. There we go. So now it looks like we're looking at the surface of this muscle cell. So now I take all of these things, highlight them, I'm going to group them, and then I'm going to right click again and go to Save as Picture, and we're going to stick this in a folder on the desktop called ACH Receptor, and we're going to save it as a PNG, the Portable Network Graphic format, because that's going to give us transparent background. So we click on Save, we just saved it, and now if I go find that folder on the desktop, we see that in there, and I open that up, and it will open it in my web browser, and you can see there's our little drawing. So that's about it.